there an SEC bias? The SEC is consistently highly ranked in AP polls during the football season. SEC teams are also highly represented in the college football playoffs. Many armchair experts and actual experts think that there's an SEC bias because they're always highly ranked and always in the finals. They think that the SEC is favored over some more deserving teams. So is there an SEC bias, or is the SEC just that much better? The SEC as a whole has 30 national championships. In the last 10 years, the SEC took home 6 national titles, with Alabama having 3, Georgia having 2, and LSU having 1. TCU, who played Georgia in the 2023 national championship game, couldn't fare against the Bulldogs with a measly score of 7-65. When the Ohio State Buckeyes played the Alabama Crimson Tide in 2021, just 2 years prior, they lost 24-52. So even when Big Ten schools make it to the big leagues, they fall short to SEC big names. The SEC also gets the most views. In the 2022 football season, SEC games were the most watched games. They made up over half of the top 10 list. Tennessee, Georgia was second with 13.1 million viewers. Alabama, Tennessee was next with 11.6 million. Fourth was LSU, Georgia in the SEC championship at 10.9 million viewers. Sixth most watched was Alabama, Texas at 10.6 million, and ninth was Alabama, Ole Miss at 8.7 million. People are watching these games because they're good, because they're the SEC, not because there's a bias. The SEC goes pro the most. The SEC has 505 active NFL players, with the Big Ten following next at 381. Alabama has 56 players in the NFL, with Florida at number 3 with 35 players and LSU at number 5 with 32, rounding out SEC in the top 10. And finally, the SEC recruits the best. When you have stats like those, championships like those, numbers like those, it's no surprise that the incoming freshmen want to be part of the Southeastern Conference. In 2023, Alabama and Georgia were the top 2 teams in the recruiting classes, with LSU and Tennessee coming in at number 6 and number 10, respectively. No other conference dominated the recruiting classes like the SEC did. I may be biased because I go to an SEC school, but even if I went somewhere else, I know that there is no SEC bias. The SEC is just better. The facts and figures speak for themselves. With the lack of professional teams in the South, these universities have to make up for it, and they do. There is no favoring SEC schools. They're just in the top because they're better.